Good. Another one.
To find out the solution, find out solutions to the problems facing land use activities around Buya Hill.
Good. Okay, are you done? Okay, now
To
after
find
that,
out the future prospects of the Buya Hill.
the future prospects of Mbuya Hill. Good. Can you also try to give me the steps you took in your pre-field work activities?
Our teacher carried out pilot study at Mbuya Village to get permission from the LC1 chairperson of Mbuya Village.
Good. Another one.
We chose the topic of study, which was the relationship between physical features and land use activities around Mbuya Hill in our division campaign.
Repeat that one.
We chose topic of study.
You chose the topic of study? No, you cannot choose the topic of study. Just say we formulated the topic of study. Repeat again.
We formulated the topic of study, which was the relationship between physical features and land use activities around Mbuya Hill in Nakawa Division, Kampala District.
Good. Another one.
Formulated the objective study based on our topic of study and find the location of the hill, find out the historical background of Mbuya Hill, find out the physical features around Mbuya Hill.
Good. Another one.
We chose the method we used in our study, included observation, sampling, and measurement.
Nice. Another one.
We selected the tools to be during the fieldwork, and these included code, notebook, tape measure, and
Good. Another one.
our teacher organized us in two different groups in order to ensure group study of geographical features, and each group was assigned a task to do. For example, group one was to find out the location of Mbuya Hill.
Good. Another one.
We sought permission from the school administration of our fieldwork study.
Okay, good. Another one.
Our teacher briefed us and guided the students on how to behave during the study.
Another one.
We departed at to our study now respective.
Yeah, so when we are giving pre-field activities, we follow what we call PTOM, whereby we start with
the pilot study,
followed by
topic of study,
yes,
objectives of study,
yes,
method of study,
yes,
tools to be used,
good.
group.
Okay, after PTOM, you can mix up the rest, but you have to end with the departure because you can't depart and then you say that we organize the group C or we mobilize for transport, isn't it? So that is what we call pre-field work activities. Okay, what takes place in the actual field work? What takes place in the actual field work? Because that is stage number 2. The first stage is pre-field work, what we call preparation stage. What takes place in actual field work?
That's where, for me, what I when we use the what? The method of the methods we use, how we use them.
That is it. It is when you use methods to collect data, isn't it? And it is what we
Yes.
call during field work. When you go to the field and then you start using the methods to collect data, to collect information in the field. What are some of these methods? Alpha, Omega, you are welcome.
Observation.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
I'm seeing here Carol Didi, she's not joining.
She's soon joining.
Okay, Annette, continue. Some of the methods we use during fieldwork.
Observation.
Observation. How do we apply?
Observation.
How do we apply?
We use observation to see. Observation involves the naked eyes. And with the help of to see and identify the we use observation features around like particles in the here.
Okay. But what we need to do, first of all, we define the method. After defining the method, we show how we applied the tools to collect data. And then after, we give the evidence or the findings, which we normally call DAF. Identification and definition of the method first. Then you come to the tools, how you apply the tools. And then from there, you come to the evidences, or what you call the findings. Okay, get one method and you describe as I've said. So let's take that.
Observation.
Yes.
This involves the use of our naked eyes with the help of other senses to see geographical phenomena in the field and sort of information about them. We used our eyes to see important features like Lake Victoria in the south of Mbuya Hill.
Another one, okay. Alpha also.
We used interviewing method. This is a method which involves face-to-face interaction between the researcher and the respondent, where the researcher asks oral questions and the respondent gives oral answers.
Good.
We asked Mr. Lawrence Ndusimie, LC1 chairperson, the problems faced by the residents of Giza village, south of Mbuya Hill, and he told us that there is a problem of poor garbage disposal.
Problem of poor garbage disposal. Okay, now, if I say, how did you use the following methods? I give you method number one, pacing. Method number two, field sketching. Method number three, documentation. Annette, pick one and explain how you used that method.
Pardon?
I've given you three methods. How did you use them to collect data in the field? One, pacing. Two, Roman numeral two, field sketching. Roman numeral three, documentation. Choose one and explain and describe how we used any one of those methods. Then also Alpha will also choose one and explain how we used any one of those methods mentioned above.
Field sketching is the technique of obtaining information in the field by drawing sketch maps, transect panorama, the areas of the field. We
Yes.
we use the sketch map of Buya Hill. We drew the sketch map that was around Buya Hill. We included physical features like stone falls south of Buya Hill and land use activities.
Okay. Your method was field sketching.
Yes,
So that is it. But when you are giving evidence, you have to draw that sketch map, isn't it? Instead of just describing it, evidence is by drawing that very sketch map. Okay? You define the method which involves the drawing of sketch maps, panoramas, and line transects in the field using a pen and a paper or a pencil and a paper. Then you tell us, we used our pen and paper to draw the sketch map of the area around Mbuya Hill showing physical and man-made or land use types. Then evidence, you draw it there. You draw it there physically, isn't it? That's why we encourage you that you choose a sketch which is easier. For example, line transit, where you can use just only 2-3 minutes and finish. But if you say sketch map,
yes,
it takes a lot of time. You get? Evidence of field
yes,
sketching is by
yes,
drawing, as a must, is by drawing. Choose one of the sketch and draw. But to encourage you, for the interest of time, you choose an easier sketch, which is a line transit, what you call a cross section. Have you heard?
yes,
Okay, Alpha.
yes,
Pick one of the remaining methods you describe.
Okay. Okay. We used pacing. This involves use of strides to estimate the distance of geographical features. We estimated the distance from Old Port Bell Road to Mboyanal Factory, which was 185 strides.
Okay. Can you repeat for me?
From the beginning.
Yes, from the beginning.
We used pacing method. This is a method which involves use of strides to estimate the distance of
Which involves
geographical
what?
features.
Use of
It
strides.
involves use of strides, yes, to estimate the distance of geographical features. So we estimated the distance from Old Port Bell Road to Mboyanal
Put the
Factory.
tool. Put the tool. And the person who did that estimate. You get what I'm saying?
Like no, first, pardon me.
Using paces, so and so, took the paces from here to here, and we found out it was this.
Okay. Using paces.
Mr.
Um,
This girl, she's not joining yet. I'm accepting. I don't know what's the problem. Hey, okay. Akiru. I don't know what is happening. Okay. But these are the ones when I admit they join. Okay, Alpha.
okay. We used pacing method. This is a method which involves use of strides to estimate the distance of geographical features.
Good. She has been trying. Okay. Alpha, continue.
Ivan, Nwenine, and Emmanuel estimated the distance from Old Port Bell Road to Mboya Nile Factory, which was 185 strides.
Good. Let us have at all. The remaining method is the documentation. How did you use documentation as a method to collect data?
We use documentation by writing down
First, define the method.
the data
We
that
said
we
that it is
collected.
DAF. Define, identify and define the method. Then show how you apply the tools, and then give us the findings or evidences.
Documentation is the method of data collection that we use, whereby we used a book and a pen and a pen to write down the physical features that were seen. For example, Buya Hill,
Now, if I want to find this one now, the final velocity is which?
the rocks on Buya Hill.
Okay, but with documentation, the same as recording. Okay, so you define it as recording, the method which involves using of a pen and paper to write down information as gathered from the field. Then you say, we use the pen and paper to write down the physical features around Mbuya Hill, which included Nachivobo Swamp, southwest of Mbuya Hill. Is it okay?
Yes.
So that's how we collected the data, and that's how you present your information. When they say describe how you used the following methods to collect data in the field, you identify and define the method, one marker for that. Identify and define the method. You have to use the correct definition, the one that they gave you in class. The method observation, the method which involves using naked eyes with the help of other senses to collect and sort information as gathered in the field. Recording, the method which involves using of a pen and paper to jot down information as collected in the field. Sampling, the method which involves using a portion to represent the rest in the field. Interviewing, the method which involves a dialogue between the researcher and the respondent, which involves asking all questions. So whatever you give as a definition should be a correct and acceptable definition. Don't just gamba around because it will cost you. Then from there, you go and give the tools, how you collected data. Each method has a tool, as we were saying yesterday, that the tool for observation is
The eye.
the eyes. The tool for recording is
The pen and paper.
Yes. Yes, Annette, the tool for recording is
Pen and the paper.
pen and paper. Good. The tool for measurement is
Measure and stride.
you can use the tape measure, or you can use the paces or strides. The tool for questionnaires is that is for the velocity. That is the velocity. What about questionnaire method? Let's look at this thing. Let's look at this thing. Let's look at this thing.
Printed questions.
Hey, yes. Let's look at this thing. And you send them using which method? Or how? This means you are going to use the question motion. You are going to use the second question motion. Okay? So here we use
By verbally asking the questions.
no. No.
You said written question.
Written questions, yes, you draft questions and send them using which format? You send them using which format? You can use SMS, you can use fax, you can use post office, you can use any form, isn't it? To the respondent who is far away from you. Lastly, what is the tool used in the method called map orientation?
A base map.
A base map. Good. Okay, let us now leave that part. We continue with I think last time we talked about follow up, but before we go to follow up, let us first look at what takes place during data collection. During data collection, of course, we have problems faced while collecting data. We have problems faced while collecting data. We have skills gained while collecting data. And then also we have problems faced by the area. And then we have recommendations. And then from there we have relationships, or you can call them conclusions, or you can call them findings, isn't it? Okay. I'm going to use this template. I'm going to use this one so that we can go through all that part. This is the feedwork of a market. Normally feedwork which are for human topics, they don't bring them at A level, but they also come. So this is the growth and development of Bugolobi market, which is along Portable Road in Bugolobi Trading Center, Kampala district. Can you see what is on the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
These are objectives. We are saying that objectives you start with to find out the geographical location. Geographical what? Location of that area. That should be objective number what? Number one, because objective should be smart. Let them be systematic. You start with a primary objective to a later or secondary objective, and in an order which is clear. You start with the location, because an objective, it gives you what you are going to study about. You can't say that I'm going to start with the future prospects. Like the way when you are dressing up, the way when you are dressing up, do you start with the inner garment? Oh, okay, you start with the inner garment, then you come to the outer garment, isn't it? There are those crucial things you can start with. When they ask you, talk about yourself, don't you start with your name? Yes?
Yes.
So even here, we start with location. Location, you have to be systematic in a chronological way or order. The geographical location of the topic. And since you have to be specific, that's why we end with the topic. To find out the location of Bugolobi market. To find out the historical background of Bugolobi market. To find out the factors that have favored the establishment of Bugolobi market. To find out the items sold in the Bugolobi market. To find out, now when you reach here, the last three, problems followed by solutions, followed by future prospects. Are you seeing that order?
Yes.
Yes. Now here, what I can guide here, I can tell you that never and never give only the number of marks allocated as objectives. You give extra objectives, at least a minimum of 5. If they put 3, give a minimum of 5, because you are not the examiner. When we are coordinating a marking guide, we can change. The marks which are on the question paper, and we change and make them 3, yet for you, you gave only 2. So that's why we encourage you that always give the maximum of the objectives, maximize the objectives, and give more than 5. Okay? Are we together there?
Yes.
Now, when you reach here, you say, our teacher carried out a pilot study. Our teacher carried out a pilot study. We encourage you that you don't include the name of your teacher, because of halo effect, that sometimes when the examiners are marking, they can look at the name of the teacher and they give more marks to that school. So the name of the teacher and the name of the school, don't mention. It can lead to scrapping of some marks from you, because they don't want that name of your teacher there or your school in the village there. Don't mention, just say our teacher carried out a pilot study to that area to get permission. Give a reason as to why the teacher went to that area of study. Give a reason why you carried out that activity in the preparation stage. Then you come here and say, we formulated. I've said we formulated. I discourage selected. I discourage agreed. I say use this one. Formulated the topic of the study. You form it. After discussing on what you call conceiving a problem, where you are going, after selecting a topic from class and say we are going to deal with fishing, we are going to deal with maybe settlement, we are going to deal with manufacturing as our topic of study. So you go and formulate from the ideas you get in class, you formulate the topic, and the topic should have the virtues of the topic, and that is the what and where. For example, here, our topic we said is the growth and development of Bugolobi market. And I encourage you that always make this topic in capital what? Capital letters. If small cases, what you do, you underline, because the topic should be different. The topic should be different. That's why we underline or we write in capital letters. Are you getting me? Are we still together?
Yes, teacher.
We formulated objectives and give at least anyone. Don't waste a lot of time. Anyone, you give it there. Then you say our teacher, or we. You can say we or I. We don't mind whether you are saying we, I. Because you can be in a group and you develop your own. So I selected the methods. Give at least some 2 methods that you selected. Then you come to this. We selected the tools. We selected the tools, but we are encouraging you that you have to follow PTOM. You have to follow PTOM, meaning that the moment you don't follow that PTOM in order, where you stop following the order is where you cease earning marks. If you say pilot study as your number 1, then instead of going to topic, then you start objectives, you have stopped earning from pilot study. The rest, however much they are correct, they are wrong, because as a must, you have to follow PTOM, pilot study, topic, then from topic, objectives, and then methods. But when you reach here, tools, seeking permission, briefing, departure, there you can mix up. You can start with the permission and then you select the tools. Maybe you can also be briefed before you seek permission, like that. But you have to end with the departure, because you can't go before you mobilize for transport. Therefore, departure should be your last on this so-called activities carried out in the preparation stage. The preparation stage is also termed as the before stage. When you see the word before, what activities did you carry out before? Just know that they are talking about preparation what? Stage. Now, this is what we call actual stage, data collection stage, methods, among others. The method, you define it as you can see. Are you seeing? The method involves use of naked eyes and sort or interpret information as gathered in the field, as well with the help of other senses. Then I used the naked eyes. I saw tomatoes, blah, 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 sold in the market. Recording involves use of a pen and a paper to write down while in the field, as you can see there. What is the tool? How did you apply? I used the pen and a notebook. I wrote down, because it is past tense, I wrote down the location of the market, where it is located along Portbell Road in Kampala district. Interviewing involves the use of a mouth to ask questions by the researcher, who gets all answers from the respondent on spot. What did you do? I already asked one of the traders. Here, as a must, you have to mention the name of the trader, and you have to use the surname or both, not just Johnny, not just Peter. Those are names of dogs or petty animals. So you say so and so, and you asked this and this. Okay. Hey, what have I done? Are you getting me? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So, come and help. Can you see the screen? What is on the screen?
Create an account.
They say it upgrade. And then upgrade it. Okay, so from there, sampling method, which involves selecting or choosing part of the rest to represent the whole. And then you say, I picked one of the traders, mention the name here, and you tell us what you asked the person and what he told you. He then said that they face a problem of theft. Map orientation, rotating or turning the map, extract or a base map or a survey map. Then you tell us that I rotated or turned the map extract of Wakiso district to the north until the features on the map tallied or matched with those of the actual ground. And I found out, to give evidence, Bugorobi Market is located along Portbell Road. Then you come to a questionnaire, you drafted questions. A method which involves drafting questions by the researcher, who sends them to the respondent through post office, email, WhatsApp, etc., Facebook, to be answered in writing. Our teacher drafted questions and sent them to the market officials in person to be answered. And here you can give kind of a dialogue, the teacher asking, what are the problems faced in the Bugorobi market? The market officer responding, the problems faced include accidents and insecurity, among others. Then when you come to measurement, the method involves the use of calibrated and uncalibrated tools. The calibrated tools include tape measures, meter rulers, and uncalibrated include ropes, among others, to determine weight, size, and distance covered by geographical phenomena. What did you do? We adjusted a tape measure to establish the distance of Bugorobi market from the main gate. And we found out that it covers a distance of 2 meters. Then you come to this method called literature review or documentary review. There is a difference between documentation and documentary review. Documentation is recording. Documentary review, this involves the use of existing documents, so that you can compare them with the information on the actual ground. You can get maybe a journal, a newspaper pull out. You can get a text, a pamphlet of Sekalega that has that area of study. You can get a notebook of a former student, like the former senior 6 student. They have this report of maybe Bugorobi Market or Mbuya Hill. You can use that notebook, that existing information. You go with it and you use it to see whether the information in the book is also evident in that area of study, and you compare them. You can even use it to ask questions in that area. So you can say, we use the geography pamphlet and compare the information in it with that on the actual ground, and found out that Bugolobi market is found in Mbuya parish. Now, after that, when you go to the field, you gain a number of skills. So this takes me to the another subtopic called skills gained in the field. What are some of these skills? Who can read for us here? Yes, who can read for us?
I
gained
One person at a go.
I gained the observing skill through
I gained
using my naked
I gained
the observing skill
the observing
skills
Now,
through using my naked
how do we
eyes.
get the skills? All stages of field work, you can gain skills. Straight away from the preparation stage, you can gain a skill. Now, when we go to actual field work, all methods are skills. All methods are what? Skills. And then when you go
Skills.
to the follow-up, we also gain skills from that stage of follow-up. Now, when you are presenting method, the skills gained from methods, you don't say observation skill. It becomes wrong. You are repeating the method now, but you will use the ing and say observing skill, recording skill, interviewing skill. Okay? Okay. But when you are giving this skill, what you need to do, you have to tell us how you gained the skill. Okay? How you gained the what? The skill by pointing out the tools. Can you read again full statement here? And you see how you present. Who is reading?
I gained my naked eyes while I go phenomena.
You gained?
I gained the observing skill through using my naked eyes while I was seeing.
Now here, we don't
Physical.
demand a lot from you. You tell us that skill and how. The how is the tool. For example, I gained the observing skill through using naked eyes to see the geographical features in the field. Even if you don't add that I saw Mbuya Hill, just we want the how through using the naked eyes, the tools. Okay? Who can read for us this one? Can read for us this one?
Let me read. I gained the recording skill through using a pen and a paper while I was writing down geographical data.
Yes, I gained the recording skill through using a pen and what? A paper. Hey, and wrote down geographical features as collected in the field. Another skill is here. Who can read?
gained the interviewing skill in my mouth and while I was asking questions and getting correct responses.
Yes, I gained interviewing skill through using my
skill.
mouth to ask oral questions. And I was able to get oral responses or feedback. Good. Another skill. Another skill.
I gained the sampling skill through picking, selecting, choosing a trader when
Yes,
represented the rest
I
of the
gained the sampling skill through picking a trader or selecting a trader who represented the whole or the rest of the traders. Good. Another one.
I
Another one.
gained the
I
measure.
gain the measuring.
Mhm. Mhm.
I gain the measuring skill through adjusting a tape measure as I establish the distance